I'm a professional dog trainer, certified. I did all my formal training in France. When I was around 14 years old, I already knew I wanted to be a dog trainer. Caring for a dog is a responsibility.
When was the moment that you say that you're going to be a dog trainer? What inspired you?
I think when I was around 14 years old, I was already training my friends' dogs. So I grew up with no dogs, right? In my family, we didn't have a dog. And the reason is because my parents kept telling me, no, we're not going to have a dog this year because you are at school, your brothers and sisters at school, we are working. So there is no one at home to take care of the dog, right? So no time to take care of the dog, and the dog would be alone at home. So my parents taught me that from the beginning, that caring for a dog is a responsibility. If no one can take the responsibility, then you should not have a dog, right? So I learned that early. Although I couldn't have a dog, I really wanted to know more about them. You know, I was curious to understand why people would connect with dogs. So I started to dig in this subject on my own. And around 14 years old, I wanted to do that training. In France, we have courses that start as early as 14, 15 years old to learn about dogs. But my parents wanted me to follow normal studies.
Is that like a official training or?
Yes, it is. Wow. You get a degree. After a few years study, you get a degree.
Starting
and then you
14,
can continue.
15 years old.
Yes. When I was 14, I already knew I wanted to be a dog trainer because I wanted to understand more about them and I wanted to help people. I couldn't, but I started to, on my own, train my friends' dogs. And then going on holiday with my parents, train the dogs of the people I would meet, if they needed help, of course. And then growing up, I've been a pet sitter, dog walker in Paris mainly when I was a student. So I learned a lot more about dog body language and I tried my training techniques there as well, you know, learning more every year. And then finally, when I was able to study dog training, it was a few years later, but I already had the background of and the knowledge of dog training. I just had to get that degree to make sure that I could start my own business as a dog trainer in France.
Yeah. So how was that first experience training your friend's dog?
Sometimes you don't know where it's going to bring you because your friend just says, my dog is barking too much, or my dog is lunging at other dogs in the street. What should I do? And when you don't have a formal training, you rely on the books and the knowledge you got from somewhere else. Today, you have internet, so you can get a lot more information. And sometimes it's a bit overwhelming because you're not too sure who to believe. Right? But starting somewhere, you will try one technique. So when I'm with my friends, I tell them, okay, I read that in that book, let's try this method. And then you would try for a few days or a few weeks. And if it works, great. If it doesn't work, all right, let's find another way. Yeah. And this builds the experience and the skills, you know, over the years.
Yep.
And most of the time we were successful in finding a way that would work for the dog. But sometimes, and I have to be honest with you, sometimes we would use a little bit of punishment, pushing a little bit the dog here and there, or using the leash to tell the dog, stop to do that, you know, stop doing that. But today, with the knowledge that I gained and the years of experience, that's not the techniques that I use anymore. And I'm going to work with people with a lot more understanding of what does your dog need and how you achieve, you know, the behavior that you want by guiding your dog rather than forcing him to do things.
Yeah.